Hello there, it's Mike.
And Katie.
And it's episode 131. And what are we talking about this week, Katie?
Today, it's the one with the toys.
On Cup of Rad. Welcome back, everyone.
I don't know why I wanted to say Foolish Mortals after that.
Welcome, foolish mortals. Because we've been dying for Disneyland, that's why.
Yeah.
We've been, dreaming about it.
Well, because I actually have new social media posts on our existence, from Disneyland now. I mean, they're back open again.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's available and it's out of reach.
It's not available to us, and borders still closed, so.
I know. That's why I said that.
So.
It's available, but we can't do it.
True.
So that's why.
But,
So yeah, lots of Disney sadness.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we had a lot of that this weekend. It was weird. It was full on Disney depression.
It's because of the food we ate. Made us feel like we should have been in Disneyland.
Yeah, we wanted to have a bit of a... Okay, so we had some food. It was some Texas Cajun.
Yeah.
Po' boys.
They're delicious.
Yeah. But it got me dreaming about Disneyland and all the good food and all that, the beignets and all the red beans and stuff like that down there.
Yeah.
Because we always loved New Orleans in that area.
Yeah.
And we'd been to New Orleans a couple times, so we have a real love of the area. And it just got me dreaming about a vegan New Orleans food truck.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I've been doing this whole afternoon. I've just been looking at recipes and
so he's going to have he told us he's going to have a week of Cajun food at home here.
Yeah. Well, maybe it might be a few weeks because I have to
space
it out because that could be a big bill. But I want to try to veganize a few things. And
apparently I also need to buy him a fryer. So
I got to make beignets.
Yeah, I know.
Right? I got to have beignets. Good old coffee sense. And beignets.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, so what I decided what I want to do is I want to take beignets and I want to then get coffee ice cream and put them on top and then do a dark chocolate bourbon sauce or something over top of them. Right?
Oh, that would be amazing.
As an extra special dessert kind of thing.
I like it.
But yeah, I've got an affinity for Southern food. Don't know why. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's just sort of ingrained into my system.
The first time we had gone to New Orleans, I was not an adventurous eater at all. So I was terrified of all the food. And then the second time we went, I was eating everything and it was amazing.
Yeah. And the one thing I liked was I was told by a gentleman that basically New Orleans food is for everyone. Mm-hmm. New Orleans food is not spicy. New Orleans food is full of flavor. If you want it spicy, that's why there's hot sauce on the table. And that lived with me. That lives with me.
Well, because everyone thinks that it's supposed to all just be flaming hot. And there are lots of options to have hotter food down there. And that was the thing is I grew up thinking that everything had to be just over the top, blazing.
Cayenne pepper galore, yeah.
And no, it's flavorful, and if it's done right, then it's fresh food, and
it's your onion, your green pepper, and your celery. That's your base for everything, right? And then from that, is your seasoning and all that. But it's the idea that
and then there's always different levels.
There's always hot sauce on the table whenever you go places. So now I just want to make a food truck with some plant-based. Po' boys and all those things, and then that's on
because so much of the base,
the Dixieland music.
Well, the base of it is so much vegetarian anyway, and so then it's just a matter of the meat topping essentially, right? But the happy music we turned on. You found this awesome playlist on Spotify, that that
it's the Dixieland jazz,
right? And it's just
it reminds you it's Disney music for when you're in New Orleans. There, it reminds us of me when we were in Bourbon Street, and or even just around. Those areas in New Orleans,
French
right?
Quarter in general. It's just a happy place, and I definitely have good memories of our last trip there for sure. Even the weather was terrible, but it was in New Orleans. Disneyland's always good, good memories, and that's our favorite place in Disneyland is New Orleans Square. So,
because welcome, foolish mortals.
So that's how that all happened.
That's a random off topic. That wasn't even where we were thinking about going to right now. yeah, so we had an adventure. We had a phone call. A phone call came, and something that Katie was excited to get had finally come in. A year and a half of waiting, and what came in, Katie?
The Mezco 112 Wonder Woman finally showed up. And actually, 2 of them were put on hold for us on accident. Apparently, they really wanted to make sure we had it on hold, which was pretty awesome. So it was the, oh crap, do I really still want this? Is my excitement gone? Is it going to be worth the money? Do I really, I questioned it. I'm like, okay, well, we got to at least go down there, and I'm going to be open-minded and be like, okay, if I see it and I'm like, I can't justify the price, or if I'm like, I don't care how much it costs, this is amazing, we'll go from there. Thankfully, it was, I don't care how much this costs, this is amazing.
Thankfully, I had Toy Trader dollars.
Yeah, there was that, because then I would have also been crying a little bit. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, no, it was awesome because they had the display and it was right next to the movie Wonder Woman, and which in itself is not a bad character looking. She's just not my favorite design. I prefer the comic one, which is why I wanted to hold out for this design. She has the black hair. It's longer, different style of an outfit.
It's brighter.
It's brighter. It's, that's what I really wanted. She looks more like a comic character, right? And so they had them compared, so I was able to kind of see that compare and contrast idea. Not that I would have gotten the movie one, but just that reminder of why it's so much better and why I waited and why I like this one,
Well, it came with a lot more too, right?
Yes. And one of my favorite things that it comes with is the cape, honestly, because I love that style with her. It doesn't last very long feel with her. It's like, okay, well, screw this, but she comes with so many weapons and I like her.
What weapons does she come with?
She comes with her sword. She comes with spear, and she comes with a battle axe, which was pretty epic. And she has her shield. She has a posable lasso. It's actually a plasticized wire, and then she actually has the lasso that goes on her hip, and she has bullet ricochets that are actually magnetic, and they stick to her gauntlets, which is really cool. And then she's got these armor pieces that go on her shoulders, which I really like, especially because they give her like an upper armband, and I like that look on her with that. And then she also does have a collar, extra armor piece that would cover more of her chest and her neck area there.
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
So that's not my favorite because I've never really seen that on her, but I can appreciate it. It still looks cool, but I like the arm ones. Right? And there's 2 heads, which one thing I really like. So there's one that's more like just the pensive calm, and then there's the angry. But I like that it's not just the face that's different. Her hair is totally different. For the angry one, her hair is a little bit more wild and more flowy feeling, and it's off of her face more. Mm-hmm. The more pensive one, it lays down a little bit more. It's kind of across her face. It's totally different of a sculpt for the entire head, not just the face.
I just thought of a cool picture. I should use the posable wire and have her with the angry face, mm-hmm. right? And have the posable wire wrapped around Harley, and then have Joker with his gun with the blast effects out of the gun, and then have her with the blast effects. I wonder if I can get that work together.
To have all of it there? Yeah. Yeah, actually, it would be fun to just have someone actually shooting her. Yeah. But I'm really happy. It's not my only complaint is her thigh lack of articulation for that, because I was trying to have her maybe bring up so she could kind of have an actiony on the ground pose type thing. Yeah. But the skirt is limited a little bit, but even if you kind of pull the skirt up to see the hip joint itself is a little bit more stiff. But I know that it's difficult for a lot of female characters to get the hips that actually really work for them. So I'm not really worried about that. But the elbow articulation
is kind of janky. Yeah. Which I was a little surprised by. Yeah. So I want to heat it up a little bit to see if I can get a little bit more smooth motion out of that.
Yeah. But I mean, right now she's kind of in she's got her cape on and she's got her spear and she's just kind of a bit more of a badass stance going on.
Yeah. It looks like you got her in almost like a comic book cover feel.
Yeah. And I like, cause I have the cape has wires on the ends of it, so it can I have it kind of swept back behind her one shoulder. She's got her little shoulder arm guard things on. And we had her shield on, but I think we need a different hand that kind of grips it and holds it. But the problem is, too, is I can't bend her elbow enough to have it so it's more upright rather than facing a little bit more down.
Where the elbow. That's the elbow. That's the articulation. Problem, right? Then I'm like, what's going on with that? Right?
Yeah. So, but it'll be fun to play with the different weapons and like change her, have more of a battle head. I think the battle head and the battle axe would be the angry head. That'll be kind of fun and a little bit more of a kind of an attack pose, which is really cool. So I'm definitely really happy because I saw it and I could, it wasn't questioning it like, oh, should I've been waiting for this. It was like, oh, no, this is exactly what I wanted. Like it did look really cool. So.
Now we need a Superman.
And it's even more imperative that we need Superman for sure.
Because we got with having the Mezco bat and then the Wonder Woman to have the Superman with that would then really be kind of cool. Yeah. Because we should have got that dark side when we had the chance.
I know that one would have been awesome, but
what else did you find in Toy
So then I got another thing that came in. The McFarlane Gorilla Grodd from Injustice came in, and I was of course excited because it's a Flash villain,
right?
And Grodd, I really like him as a villain, scary telepathic ape, and yeah, he came in, and what a beefy character. Like, he's huge, and he's heavy. And he's got some really good articulation. My favorite, it's such a minor thing, but he has the butterfly or a shoulder joint just enough because he's a big character, which is cool. So it's just a little bit of it, but he can actually push his shoulders back. So it's a little bit more that imposing, kind of open up his chest and kind of stares down at you. And I think I really like that.
Yeah.
Because it just gave a total different dynamic to it.
Yeah. That's what I was doing with the Bizarro figure too. I was pushing his shoulders back, right?
Yeah. So that was my favorite thing with that. And then I know you were pretty happy with.
It looks really cool and it looks really good. Like we don't have the Injustice Flash, we have the regular Flash.
Yeah.
And it looks really good even with the regular Flash.
Yeah, and then we have him standing even next to Wonder Woman, like he's taller than Wonder Woman, which is cool too.
Oh, the Mezco, yeah.
Well, the Mezco, yeah. But still, we can mix things.
I totally, but I want to clear up that.
Yes, the Mezco. Because the McFarlane, there's a little bit taller.
Yeah, right? he's not in perfect scale for the McFarlanes, but you would have to get
he'd have to be a deluxe figure, and he'd have to be And but yeah, he's got a lot of cool armor on him. I like you can also actually move his neck and kind of bring him down. So then it hooks in, like his little jaw cover helmet thing closes up with the neck one. So then he can totally protect his neck.
Yeah.
So those different things, like how it kind of works together. And his teeth are actually quite sharp.
Yeah, put my finger in his mouth and they bit me.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a shock. One thing that's funny is right now Katie's got him on the shelf posed, and she's got Flash in a running pose.
Well, because Flash is happy. Yeah, he's just, of course, just the one.
The regular Flash is
regular Flash. Happy. He's just happy. So he looks like, this is gonna be awesome.
And the way she has him posed versus how I posed Grodd looks like he's coming in for a bit of a nut shot.
And it's awesome.
So.
Because, he's totally bent over. His one punch, his fist is back. And, he looks like he's just laughing and is going to just nut punch Grodd. And I think that is a wonderfully effective move.
Right.
And that's the one place that Grodd doesn't have his armor. So
there you go.
It would be perfect. I mean, what would be the point of him punching him in the face?
True.
He couldn't get an uppercut.
Yeah.
So where else are you going to uppercut?
True.
Right between the legs.
Right in the wrinkle pouch.
Right in the wrinkle pouch. So...
now I'm just thinking about the movie we watched and those two, and that could be some chaos.
Oh goodness. Yep. So that was a super fun trip
for Toy Traders. It was like, McFarlane's been coming in Fast and Furious, which are pretty cool. So that makes it really fun to be able to go and pick up some items. Like always, it's always so fun to be able to walk around there and check things out. We say we're just gonna go pick up these two things, but then like an hour later,
Yeah, it's funny. He's like, we're just gonna be quick. I was like, yeah, right. Sure, Mike. But that's okay. It was fun.
It is always fun.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. Like, I know we aren't buying the Marvel Legends, but they're still really interesting to look at.
There's some because
there's so many weird characters now that I've never heard of these characters. Yeah. So.
Like I got all excited for the Age of Apocalypse, like the second wave, and I was like in the mode of like, okay, I wonder if they still have any of the first series. And I'm like, look, and I was looking at the Wolverine, the Weapon X, and I was like, oh, he still looks a little weird.
Yeah.
But like, because that second wave of Age of Apocalypse that they're bringing out with the Magneto and the Rogue, and then the Build-A-Figure Colossus is just insanely cool.
Yeah. But are they going to look cool when? Because
they're all just the digital renders. I keep got to tell myself that they're all just digital renders.
It's the idea of the plan. Everyone can plan that something looks cool,
right?
You know,
I had a hard time not picking up some Star Wars like troopers because I need some more troopers. I only got one stormtrooper, which seems a little weird.
Yeah,
I need to have a few more somethings to pew pew because
a few more somethings.
Yeah, but I've got so many things I want.
Yeah,
it's just like barrage of toys like.
I almost picked up the 2-pack of Funko Pops for Good Omens. They had, I like that pack because they had, so what's their names? As if, I can't
Angel remember. Dude and Demon Dude.
Angel and Demon Dude.
Yeah.
The Flaming Sword and
Mephistophiliosis. And Crowley.
It was David Tennant.
He's Crowley. And it's not, is it, I thought it was AZ, but maybe it's not. Zuzel?
Zazel? Okay. No, it's not.
I can look it up.
You could.
You can keep talking. I'll keep
talking. The Angel Dude had the Flaming Sword, and the Demon Dude, I love, one thing I do love with that figure, because they had single ones of them as well, and Crowley has the apple with him, but that his eyes are actually not the traditional Funko Pop eyes. They're actually the snake eyes slit. And then he's got his dark glasses on. And I really love that because you can actually see through it. So Azrael? Azrael,
yeah.
Sure. I think it's Azrael.
Dude.
Angel Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
AKA Michael Sheen.
Yeah, exactly.
Way easier to say.
Yeah. So Michael Sheen and David Tennant Pops. Because that's really honestly why I care about them. So I really like that show though. But yeah, that was my favorite thing with it. But because of the other characters that I definitely needed to get, those have been put on
my list was bigger.
But, I don't know. That can be a background, like, something for future. Think about wink, wink, nod, nod.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, just so you know.
Tickle, tickle. Yeah.
So you have any Father's Day suggestions that you want to wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or it's just the endless line of toys?
Hey, y'all know that there's Father's Day coming up, so if you're a dad, guess what? Woo, Father's Day. Here,
we have found out, though, Father's Day is different in
other parts of the country. Yeah.
Not other parts of the country. In Canada, it's all the same.
You're all just one world now.
One world.
It's the United States.
One world without borders, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're all just living in my world.
United States of rad.
Be a better place.
Yeah. Not United States.
Okay.
Free states of rad? No?
The rad states of rad.
The rad states of rad?
Yeah.
Just it's one. It's one rad world.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep. And all we play is The Night Begins to Shine.
Oh, the night begins to shine.
Right?
You can't go wrong with that.
No.
It's so awesome.
I suggested we should probably get Thundercats as a
yeah.
There's probably some, McFarlane's.
Most likely.
Death metal. But yes, you ended up this weekend was like Katie collector heaven.
I know.
It was not my collector heaven. It was like everything came in for Katie this weekend.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So something came in that was rather timely that it came in.
It was weirdly perfectly timed.
Like, perfect.
It's like they planned it because it was ordered. It was released at the time, but it was early VIP release to be able to do it. And then I got it on a very fortuitous day. Right.
It was like some of the best marketing I think ever. Like, magic.
Right.
If you don't know what we're talking about, what are we talking about?
We're talking about the Friends Lego apartments set.
I was going to keep it for Christmas, but
I was offering that. I even told my family I ordered it I ordered myself a quote-unquote Christmas present. And Mike looked at me and said, you do realize I'm not going to be able to keep that for you for Christmas, right?
Well,
so I said, okay.
Let's be honest. Katie's track record for building Lego, it could still be here for Christmas. So if she hasn't opened it and like started building something before by next Christmas, episode. That
well, now it's a challenge. Now I have to like give them updates every week on my stage of this.
Then I'll just rewrap it for Christmas time. Nice. Me and Kiddo, we were tempted to like take it out of the box because actually she didn't even open the mailer box for a couple days.
Yeah.
And we were like, we should just take this thing out of the box and filled it with something else and hit it. Just sit there, weighted box, see what happens.
Yeah, I trusted that it was actually the right thing, you know. So says the delivery. The delivery email says that I had this very large set. But yeah, that came.
Well, what are you excited about? Why are you so excited about?
So the reason why it came on Thursday, the same day that the Friends reunion aired.
Mm-hmm.
So initially,
the one with the reunion.
Initially, I was saddened when Mike told me that it wasn't going to be any sort of episode.
That is a bit of a soft blow.
It was cup of rage when I found out that it was not going to be episode.
Because she was like super excited that it was going to be on Crave because we up here in Canada.
And then I had it, and
we still have it because we haven't canceled the Crave HBO since Justice League. We just keep having it. It's like that add-on that you just forget about. But
this is what they count on.
You're like,
it's so easy to add the damn thing, but it takes forever to get rid of it.
A blood sample, a urine sample, and your firstborn to cancel it.
So you wanted to mock me for this sadness, huh?
So she'd said, like she's excited.
I had to set a timer on my phone. I was like, just so we don't forget that it's there. And he's like, you do realize it's not an episode, right?
It's just an interview show, right? And her face. It was like a cartoon character, like jaw to the floor sadness, or like one of those like memes of a cat that just is so depressed and just that like, what have you done? You are lying.
Shut your dirty face.
You don't know anything about this. Where did you hear this? What are your sources? And then,
so then I was just like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm going to watch it anyway. I know I'm going to watch it anyway. I'm just angry about it now. So time came by. I was like, okay, I'm just going to be open-minded about it. I'm going to be excited. I still want to see what it is. I'm happy to say that I was very pleasantly surprised. I take back my complaint that it was not an episode because I honestly believe that I would have not been satisfied with anything that they did. And I also understand the difficulty. It took this long to be able to have something like this happen again. To have any sort of somewhat satisfying reunion get together. Like, first off, it'd be why is this the first time that the Friends characters have been back together after so long? That would irritate me. If they were supposed to be completely connected, but still, it'd be like, what happened, right?
Us as people.
So then you would also, of course, you would want to know about the twins. You would want to know about how the kids have all been doing to grow up. So you also then would need to cast additional people from all of that. So, I can understand the difficulty with having to do all that. And then everything did get a kind of a neat and tidy package, and it would lose some of that luster that it
Well, you'd had to have added some kind of drama, right?
And to make it an interesting story that wasn't just like, well, whatever.
You don't want to rehash like we were on a break.
Yeah, you don't. And so you would have to have a longer, like, otherwise, then really what's the point? Even if you had an hour of an episode, a story needs some sort of drama to keep it interesting. We pretend like it just can be something light and fluffy, but even the comedic ones, they were comedy because there was strife of some sort.
Yeah.
So do you really want to have them come back and then have strife of some sort?
Well, because you wouldn't be able to have them come back to the apartment either.
No, and because they don't have it. So you'd also never be able to see their apartment again.
Right. So that would be... Maybe they should have gone to Joey's sandwich shop that he said he would have had. In Venice Beach,
yeah. So, you know what? I ended up being very happy with what they did do. I think it was well done, cut together. It was fun seeing the set as a set not as the TV show. That was really interesting, and learning different weird trivia things about what they had, and seeing the awe on their faces and their nostalgia for it.
It was like watching a commentary without having to listen to a commentary.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite things was them playing the trivia game. And I was getting so into it. I was having so much fun. I'm answering all the questions because I loved that episode.
Yeah.
And I was hysterical. And then when they were talking about how people have been affected around the world with it, I mean, I was full on crying. It was very emotional actually watching all of this. Because I know the show so well. I've seen every episode. I mean, I've watched from episode 1 to the end multiple times. And I love everything they said was just like, oh, that one, oh, that one, oh, that one, and it was actually really fun. So I was very pleasantly surprised, and like, I'd almost to the point where I would watch it again because it made me do, most importantly, is it made me want to watch Friends again. So
the bazillionth time. So now you're gonna find out that our podcast is gonna be a Friends podcast. Yeah. We're no longer going.
Well, and then after turning around, because now every time we talk about it, kiddo's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "Dude, some of this is still too much for you." Like, but he's very interested in some of these episodes, right? So, but then looking at the Lego set, and oh my good gracious, the detail of all these different Easter egg type things that they put in there.
What was your favorite one? They're not Easter eggs,
but for the Lego set?
Yeah. Because like one that I get from it was the one that's on the floor.
I think so. Okay, so when I looked originally at the packaging, I was super excited for all these. Yeah, I could see all these little tiny things, right? And I when I opened up the box at home, because I did take it out of the mailer, actually the box itself is open, and I've looked at the bags and the booklet.
That doesn't mean I still can't
moving
wrap
in
it.
the forward steps.
I still can wrap it.
Yeah, I know. What he's going to do, he's going to take some of the Lego bags out, so I won't be able to finish it.
Well, okay, so the reason why I joke with this is because she has a Tron Legacy Lego set, and she has not opened it yet to this day. And now I feel that she can't open it because I saw on eBay it was like $130.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's almost now gotten to that point where it's like it almost seems wrong to open and build it.
Yeah, no, I've let it go. Well, it's also become a very nice fixture of decoration and shelf on
a riser.
It's a riser for things. So now it's like the box would have to stay there, but it was a free Lego set I got with points for $130 US now. So I don't know. Yeah, right. It might just have to stay there. But anyway, so yeah, looking at the details on there, like I love that the dollhouse is there and that it can be on fire. I love that Gladys artwork is there and the rolling dog statue and like all these little tiny things, right? But then the chicken, the duck, and the canoe. Because kiddo was like, why is there a canoe in their apartment?
Yeah, like, why isn't there a canoe in our apartment?
Right? And I love that the dog statue actually has little rollers on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
I like that the TV says Go Sports on it. So things like that. But when I got the box, I looked at it and I was like, there was something that I missed on the original like pictures on Lego Online. In the middle of the hallway, the cheesecake is there. And I am just overwhelmingly excited about that because it's hilarious. So it's the one where Joey and Rachel and they're eating, and Chandler shows up, right? They're eating cheesecake off of the floor because it's the best cheesecake, and it fell in the hallway. And I love because Joey sits down and they're like, well, what are you going to eat it with? Well, he just pulls out a spoon because he carries a spoon around. And so I think that's such a weird thing, but there's cheesecake in the hallway. So
right, so that's a cool detail that they put into this thing.
And so opening a booklet, because all of the characters all have a look from a different episode. So then it tells you from what episode they're from.
Yeah.
And Joey has the one where he's wearing all of Chandler's clothes.
I'm wearing everything you own.
I'm wearing everything you own. I mean, too bad if I wasn't going commando. Oh, I think I need to do some lunges. That was one thing that was from the reunion. It was quite funny. He had the fashion outfit of that one that he was able to bring back. And But yeah, so we have Ross in his leather pants. We have Rachel in her little skirt from when the monkey is lost. And Monica is she looks more like she's a baker. It's one where she's making the candy, so she's got her whisk and everything with her. Chandler is in one of his work outfits, and Phoebe is Phoebe. It's when she's doing her artwork. She has a paintbrush from Gladys and everything. Right? Yeah. So, and then it has with Janice, which I think was awesome. They actually did bring her, and yeah. So I
wonder if they're gonna do more though. Like, will they do other sets? Like, will they do bedrooms? Because then that'd be a good one to do with Monica and Richard.
Yes.
Right. Or will they do the bathroom with Monica and Chandler? Right, like
a bubble bath.
Yeah, like
chicken. I go for some chicken.
Right, like there's. I was awesome. I wonder how many people actually are Friends fans that watch our show, because they're just probably going, "What?
Why is she talking about chicken?"
But like those kind of, or Phoebe's apartment, so you can get Mike.
Yep. I want a Paul Rudd little figure, like early Paul Rudd.
I was gonna say we can get the Ant-Man.
That's no. I want the original Paul Rudd.
Well, that's Clueless.
Should you?
So you'll have to.
No. This is my original Paul Rudd.
Bet you didn't know that I was gonna pull that.
I'm surprised by that. Yes, yeah. I'm impressed.
Boom.
Shouldn't be too surprised. It was.
Mic dropped. But I'm not gonna drop it because I like it. So.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I wonder if they'll do any of the other ones to add more of the secondary characters, right? Maybe they'll bring out.
We need Ross's apartment, so that
Jon Favreau.
Oh yeah,
Ultimate Fighter, right?
But yeah, we need Ross's apartment, so they can have all the dinosaur stuff around, and some very important events happen there. I mean, oh my goodness!
Like they actually could do quite a few more sets.
Yeah.
Right, and because there is so many other secondary characters that they could add as well, and more looks.
Yeah.
When do they bring out the? They
just need to bring a minifigure
pack.
Set. Yeah.
With Sputnik.
Yep. We could have Chandler as Santa Claus would be quite, and Armadillo. You could have a set like that, and then you have all their costumes that you could, like the ones they've done the pops of, right?
Yeah.
But you could have their costumes like that, and then just being able to have Rachel in maybe more of a work outfit, those types of things too. Not just her costumes, and not just the coffee, but her more of her professional fashion stuff. So
they could ride this license for a while.
Yeah, what would be awesome, because one of my favorite episodes is the one that could have been idea. So it's all the flashback of everything. And so some of those like crazy outfits, like when Rachel was not
flock of seagulls.
Well, yeah, those are the old ones there, right? But when Rachel she married Barry and everything like that. And she was hitting on Joey when he was a big, huge star.
Yeah.
She's just, it's just so crazy and over the top, like fancy 90s, right? So, but yeah, so this has just been super fun. Like all of it was just so much fun nostalgia for myself, and it's so easy. There's so many episodes, and I love all of them.
Yeah.
Like one of my coworker asked, she's like, well, what's your favorite episodes? And I'm just like, oh my God. And you guys are well aware of how how much I hate what's your favorite somethings.
So what is your favorite episode?
Yeah.
I remember we're going on this whole Friends tour.
Because I slowly, I have a very hard time, as I say, because I love little bits and pieces of all of them. And then they do start to blur together a little bit, like, oh, that episode included all of those key events type thing. But one of my favorite ones is when everyone finds out about in the collection of them as they're finding out about Monica and Chandler, especially like when Phoebe finds out and they're trying to break him too about the one they don't know that we don't know, all that. And I love when Phoebe is trying to hit on Chandler and the awkwardness and like the just the ridiculous weirdness, and then he finally breaks and says that he loves Monica, and it's just so cute and real feeling, and it's such a change for his character, and I've always loved that episode. There's so many of them. What's one of your favorites or favorite scenes?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I know, right?
Like you're actually like
we have to watch some. Yeah, we do.
You're just itching at this bit.
I know,
You're just,
right?
Like ready to go.
Yeah, that was one thing too. When I rewatched all of them, I forgot how long Monica and Chandler had actually been together. Because it's, like I looked it up, season 5, there's 10 seasons. They were already together. Yeah. Like for more than half of the season, they were actually together. So that was shocking actually to see how fast it actually did move with those different characters, right? So, and how much Joey changed if you watch the original ones. How much he relaxed and changed throughout the series.
I think anything really with Joey and Chandler is probably my favorite. Like the most interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. Their shenanigans.
Their Fireball.
Like, that's something I would have done.
Right? I know. Whenever I see that, I'm like, yeah, that's something.
That's something I think about daily.
Yeah.
Of like, I can do that. I can do this. What if I do that? That would be more interesting than what I'm doing right now.
If you and your buddy had ever just had to live together in a bachelor pad, you guys would have been the two of them.
I'm pretty sure I can find some dudes now and live in a place, and we could do some of this stuff.
I know. Actually, you probably could.
More likely for it to happen now.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that would see, and it's so funny.
We have first aid now, so we're a little bit safer.
Sure, but how much I can see Monica and Chandler in Us is really weird. It's always been trippy to me. But just because of how competitive I can get to and how much I can be very stubborn and set in different things. And I've always thought that was really funny. And you, of course, use humor as a deflection of sarcasm, and you're also dead inside.
No, well, because this podcast is totally about you today, so.
I know, right? Jeez.
I'm not even here.
This too? So yeah, that was a definite highlight of my last few days here.
There you go. There. Yeah. Bet you didn't think that would happen, but no, it's a good time. Everyone has their thing. Everyone has their show, right? Like there's always something that connects to them, right?
Yeah.
And there's different humor, right? Like I'm not a big fan of when people decide to just like tear down when they're like, well, a show like that, because like then they themselves have a show that maybe doesn't speak to you for comedy, because comedy is all relative. Not everyone finds everything the same.
Well, like I've had a lot of people say, well, I'm not a huge Friends fan, but I'm a Seinfeld person.
Yeah.
And I have realized the world is almost split between Friends fans and Seinfeld fans because they were both very big, very similar times. And it's interesting to see the different style of people. People generally are not huge fans of both of them. I'm not saying they don't exist.
Oh, yeah.
But you're not going to have people who are diehard Seinfeld fans who are also diehard Friends fans, because they're just a very different style of show. Like, and I can appreciate the humor, and I've laughed at Seinfeld, but I really could take it or leave it.
Because it's also the time of your life. And
I think, and also, too, there was only one female in Seinfeld. There's 3. It's a nice balance in Friends. And I think there's the more girly bonding thing. Yeah. Which is appealing to me for Friends, right?
Oh, totally.
That was another one of them scenes that I love. See, I think of them more of scenes than things, is when they're fighting and Rachel and Monica are just complaining and bitching at each other, and Phoebe grabs them by the ears and pats them, and we were from prison, you would be like my bitches.
Yep.
And I love that line because it's hilarious. So, there we go.
Nice.
I think we're done talking about Friends, because I will just keep going.
This week.
It'll be the one that never ends.
Yeah. This is part 1 of our 200 part.
Well, so right now,
you thought you had.
I've been realizing, because I'm not talking about Friends now. A different show, actually. I'm out of watching like the YouTube channels I used to watch at the gym when I would do my cardio. And I have decided that, because I had started watching Grey's Anatomy before I went back to work, the original from season 1. Well, and I don't have the time to watch those. And I was like, I'm going to bring up, I have Netflix on my phone. Like, I'm going to bring up, so I've been watching Grey's Anatomy while the cardio machines. But then there's the idea of, like, I wish I could watch Friends again, because I used to love watching that. But
well, you could.
I'd have to log on to Crave, and I could do that then that way. Holy cow, look at that. I can enjoy Friends without the sound even on.
Yeah, like it's like a cult.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Like it's.
So anyways.
I don't think I've ever been that attached to a show.
Like, I never, ever tire of it.
Yeah.
Like, I could watch it over and over and over again. Like, there's some episodes that are not, like, I don't, like, absolutely love them, but if it's on, I would watch it. Like, I laugh at everything about it.
Yeah.
So
I guess, well, I got that way a bit with Last Man on Earth.
Yes.
That
You're
one
very
really
attached to
me.
that one. Very attached to that one. So that would be more of your line, because I think you laugh at every single one of those episodes.
And I've watched that thing like 4 times through. So
that's yours.
We watched Community a few times through. And
that would be another one where every single episode, no matter what we watch, is funny.
Yeah.
Right. And I like that one.
I almost feel like Schitt's Creek could fall into that territory.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got a chance to watch it again, but I really do want to watch it again. Yeah. I especially am very interested in the first episode, because I remember kind of being like, oh, what the heck's this?
Yeah.
And I really want to watch that again, but...
Huh. Interesting.
So there we
go. So also this week, moving right along.
Yeah, we got to move on.
It's... we got to see the season finale. I don't know if it's the season or just if it's a series or if it's just a season. It seems like it's the season finale of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Yeah.
The episode 10, it was fantastic.
Yeah. It felt like it was longer than it really was.
Yeah,
like
I didn't look at the
it was only 35 minutes.
It was? Okay.
Yeah. Huh. But a lot actually happened.
We got some really cool hockey action in it. Good old opening montage of a tournament, which was pretty fun to see. Mm-hmm. We got to see the Coliseum here in Vancouver turned into the Minnesota Igloo. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty trippy to see a place that, you've
like, we've been there
quite a few times, right? But it was funny though, because the season ended exactly the way that I said it was going to go. Mm-hmm. And I had always told Kiddo and Katie here that basically I have a feeling that it's going to come down to them making a bet for the name.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as much as I knew what was going down and how it went down, it still was pretty awesome, right?
Well, because I liked that it didn't come down to them actually beating the Ducks or having to worry about that, right? And I think that they still showed their care for each other outweighed just the sheer fact of winning.
Yeah.
They wanted to just give it their all and be a team and have that connection and realize that was more important than anything else.
Yeah.
That even if they lost on the ice, they had made massive wins in their own life. Yeah. And that's the purpose of it. Right. And
came out of shells.
Yeah. I mean, it was a huge thing for all of them. And that's what a team of that should do. Yeah. It should make you a better version of yourself and better connections. And I love that message was there and that they didn't sacrifice that all the way to the very end. And that other even people outside of the initial team, people on the Ducks and everything still made changes. But then the bad guy got even more of a bad guy. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a really good show. I really had a good time with it. I recommend it, especially if you're a hockey fan and you got a family, total cool. And what it done too is it's made Kiddo want to do a complete RADnesia of the original Mighty Ducks trilogy. Yeah. So that could be coming down the pipeline.
Well, and when you guys had originally watched it, I was out of town, so I have not watched it. So,
but it's a good feeling, especially when you saw the Ducks come out, when the Don't Bothers came out in the old classic Ducks jerseys with all the old numbers and names on them, right?
Yeah.
Facing off against the new evil Mighty Ducks.
And I loved that it was so jarring to them and that... they had their own level of confidence that was about their connection and just because they worked and learned the hard way that they could really do impossible things.
Yeah.
Just because they did believe in themselves. And I think a lot of it is, maybe they're not going to be the best thing ever. But
they're having fun.
And that is a huge part of what should be the game.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
From that, then we also checked out the latest episode of The Bad Batch. That's been a fun show to watch.
Yeah, this one was great.
This one was full of action.
Yes.
And I love that we get to meet a character from Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. Bib Fortuna shows up.
Yeah.
And his Gamorrean guards.
He looks so... He's always creepy, right? I mean, he's all old and, with his creepy eyes, and he's just, yeah. And he looks so like so youthful and sad and full of joy then when, at the end of the episode, and it was such a different feeling. It was like you're so much younger, and like you almost like have a being about you.
Like you're so happy about him, and like it was just in December when we got to watch Boba Fett kill him.
Right? So, like it's such a weird thing, right?
He's had some extra action in this past 6 months.
Yeah.
But the Rancor shows up.
I was going to tell everyone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
I'm usually the one that spoils things.
Well, the Rancor shows up. That's all I'm going to say then.
There you go.
So, but I'm having fun with that show.
Okay, with that though.
No, it's too late.
No. I'm not going to spoil anything. All I can say though is that no wonder that the Rancor is scary in Return of the Jedi, and like this feared thing, and how much worse it would be if it had like open air to move around.
Yeah.
Because the thing was terrifying at that age.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how it would be if it was, trained to be fighting so much, and then if it was free to move and everything. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Definitely a scary creature.
But yeah, I'm having fun with that series. It's exciting to still have some Star Wars to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bad Batch has been, really cool to see.
Liking Omega is I didn't find her as obnoxious the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
But she's still definitely a kid, but
totally is a kid. So, but that was fun to watch. We're hitting this weird stride because we don't really have anything that we have been watching. Like that was the nice thing with Thundercats that we had.
Yeah.
Was it was just like, well, Saturday morning cartoons, we just throw on Thundercats and watch a couple episodes. Sunday morning pancakes, we have a couple episodes. But now because we don't have that, we're stumbling.
We're like, what do we do?
Right? And that's something we got to figure out. We do.
Because we had Bad Batch and then some Looney Tunes to catch up on. But apparently Thundercats are not going to wait until the fall.
But but we just have to pick a series in, and I think we just need to pick a series and start it again. So I'll have to figure out something.
I want to watch Rebels.
I know,
but that's not good enough. Apparently, we have a Star Wars cartoon right now. So you want to watch something older and full on RADnesia feel then?
Maybe
that's what I think it is.
I feel like if we're gonna watch Rebels, we need to start from the beginning. We can't just do season 4.
I know.
So we got to do the whole thing then.
Okay.
Right.
That's okay.
So
we'll have to find something.
But we got to figure it out.
We have enough of something. Or we can watch some of the Batman maybe or something.
There's tons of series that we could crack open. Yeah. So you just got to figure out which one will click.
Yep.
Or maybe we should finish Gargoyles.
There's that too. Yeah.
So
we got to find more cartoons.
Right. So there's tons of things we can, or we'll just watch the Mighty Ducks cartoon.
There you go. Space Ducks.
No. Not all cartoons are great.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's that's one of the things that's interesting with RADnesia, being able to pull out things and all that. Like there's always that's why I always think that there are certain things that we always will remember is amazing, and it's always fantastic to have those memories. But there is also the idea of pulling the glasses off and saying, okay, well maybe this isn't aged as well, or maybe this isn't as good as I think it is. I can still have the fond memories, but not be so headstrong and say it's the greatest thing ever. Like that's where like Thundercats for me is. Even the original Turtles, like it's good and it has great moments, but like you look at it and it's like, okay, it hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
Like you can't really just say that everything else is crap and this is amazing.
Yeah.
When you realize that it itself is just not,
Well, it's like for myself, a lot of the things that I watched when I was younger are very much more relevant from when I was actually younger.
Yeah.
Like they aren't something that's going to connect to me.
Because they weren't written for you as a,
Like, for example, I loved Rugrats.
Yeah.
Watching Rugrats now does not have the same appeal.
Yeah.
Because it's just too simple.
Yeah.
Some of it would be kind of still amusing. Like I still always loved the Passover episode for some reason, but and the Hanukkah one and all that sort of stuff, but
I felt like you were learning.
I felt like I was learning, but there's just different stages in life. Another one that I think has not aged well because I'm not a moody teenager is Invader Zim. because watching the last movie, I enjoyed bits and pieces of it, and I love Gurr, and some of it is quite funny.
Yeah.
But I can tell that I don't have that same angsty, like angry with the world vibe, so it's not as earth-shattering to me anymore, right? So it's interesting to see those changes, and what can still connect to you, and what maybe can bring you some fond memories still, or what, like I still appreciate it and I still am amused by it. I really still love the drawings and the graphic novels that I have for it. But just that different change, right? And I think that's something that's different, like say with the Batman animated series, is it's much more dramatic, and it's amazing to see how much we have good memories as a kid, but you can still really enjoy it as an adult because it is dramatic and there's intense themes to it. So there's so many different styles out there, and then it's just a matter of what you had found and what stage you were in life, right?
Exactly. So. Well, like I've shown Kiddo some of the Toxic Crusader stuff on YouTube, and he's just like, "What? Like how? Why?"
Yeah.
Right. Or even like the Biker Mice stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, just like, but then I realized I was making like this wish list of like figures that I'd love to see made, and then I was like looking at the Biker Mice toys, and I was like, I really just want the 3 main Biker Mice. I could care less about anyone else.
I bet you didn't think we'd find a way to still talk about Biker Mice today.
But it's that idea of like
Super 7 was feeling left out.
But it's that idea though, like I think about it, and like I have like those memories of things, and even say Toxic Crusaders, I have memories of the toys more than the cartoon, because like I watch some of those clips and stuff on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, this was a terrible cartoon. Right. So, and not saying because the source material itself is not the greatest source material, like Toxic Avenger stuff, but it's just grotesquely awesome.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's just that idea.
Yeah.
So speaking of taking the glasses off for RADnesia, we got one for you.
Then we're back.
Were we gone? We were just having a flip off. Sorry. Anyways.
Sorry, I had to bring in some more Friends references here. You can't see it, unfortunately.
So we have a RADnesia for you.
Yeah.
This is a full-on RADnesia. We checked out Jim Carrey's Liar Liar. Universal Pictures.
And you know who we checked it out with? Kiddo.
She approved this one. She approved this one. You know what? It's interesting because Jim Carrey movies are always like portrayed as like these like kid-friendly family movies, and then you watch them and then you're just like, nah.
Right?
No, why did my parents let me watch this?
I watched this when I was young. I'm like, what the hell? This is not a kid's movie at all.
No, none of them are. None of them. Like, the more you realize
I watched The Mask when I was young. Also not a kid-friendly movie.
Right? It's just because it's colorful.
Yes.
Right?
And because he's humorous and you just assume he's kid-friendly.
Right? And I think that's why people then let their kids watch Deadpool.
Yes.
Because it's funny. It's okay.
It's colorful.
Yeah.
It's Ryan Reynolds. He wouldn't do anything that would hurt my children.
No.
So we watched Liar Liar, and hands down, I think one of my favorite Jim Carrey movies ever. I love this movie so much.
Well, it's the safest Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah. But I love it. I have never been a huge, like, Ace Ventura or Dumb and Dumber fan. Like, that was not my thing. My parents apparently drew the line somewhere. Yours did not.
I had free reign.
I know. So then this was always one of my favorite movies from when I was younger.
Oh, heck, dude. Like, I worry about, like, I remember, like... I'm just babbling.
Gather your thoughts.
And
then I would love to tell you.
And then, so anyways, so like Ace Ventura, it is horribly outdated.
Yes.
And it's like, I remember I was watching it not that long ago, right? And being like, man, it's trans and homophobic, like, and it makes fun of people with mental disabilities.
Yeah.
Like, the second one is safer.
Yeah.
And so, like, and Kiddo was like, oh, what about that? I was like, well, I can show you the second one.
Here's my giant disclaimer
for it. The first one, I don't know if I'm ready for that road yet.
Yeah.
Because
I do trust for him to understand what's not okay in it.
Oh, I believe
which is a good thing. But it would definitely require a big conversation.
It's like, because it's not funny in those things. And like...
It was funny at the time.
I even remember, like, as a kid, though, not even understanding when I watch these things, because they're like, he's the pet detective, right? And so, like, now I feel like watching it.
Right? We want to watch it to see if you could still find that uncomfortable humor and find where it was funny at the time, or or if it's still really, it's just like, no, it's just not okay.
Yeah,
like,
so
could that you might be where it came from, at least at the time in the context.
Yeah.
But understand that it is not acceptable humor now, right?
Yeah, but it shouldn't have, I don't know if it should have been then.
I know, and that's what I'm curious to see. Like, should it have been, or should have just been never made idea, right? But anyway, back to Liar Liar.
So Liar Liar. So what's the story of Liar Liar? For those that have never seen this movie.
Yeah, so for this, he is a lawyer. And he has a 5-year-old son who he loves very much and is a great father when he's actually around him, but he is very much worried about work. And
work takes over everything.
Yeah, he keeps making promises to his son and he doesn't keep these promises. So he's supposed to be at his son's birthday party, which he tells him he's going to be there, and he does not show up because what he thinks is going to help further his career opportunity shows up. And his son makes his birthday wish that for one whole day his dad cannot tell a lie. So then from 8:15 at night till the following for the 24 hours, he cannot lie at all. So it's not just a big lie. It can be, it's the white lies. It's the asking a question where the answer is a lie. It's anything at all that can be slightly, not honest. Yeah. And it almost doesn't even have a filter because if someone asks him a question, he just has to answer because even the concept of omission is a lie in all reality. And so it's interesting because it shows that because you think automatically he's a lawyer and he's of course assigned to this case where they've actually asked him to lie to help because it's worth a lot of money. So then he's asked to do all this, and not only can he not lie for his job now it's all these little lies that you don't even realize that you say during the day when someone asks how you're doing, or what do you think, how do I look, or anything like that. And it's just a huge chaos, right? So that's the gist of the story, and it's him having to realize that being more honest and being truthful in the places that really matter, and what actually is more important. Does his job actually make him feel like a decent person? Mm-hmm. And does
it's kind of like a Christmas Carol? Yeah,
it is actually very much of a Christmas Carol base
feel, right?
Especially at the end when he realizes he's free and he doesn't have to be in this shackles basically of being a slummy lawyer.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting. So my problem with showing Kiddo, which I was concerned about, is all the sex in it, honestly. There's sex scenes, and the entire case that he is defending against is...
You were stuffing her like a Christmas turkey.
I love the jumping up and down, the hand movements.
Yeah.
Is his defendant is actually adulteress who is trying to... seven different times, slept with this guy, and her prenup, then she had a prenup, and she's suing her ex-husband for more money because they're trying to but they honestly she has a prenup and she committed adultery. They're basically saying he's offered her something, and so he spins this into the idea that somehow she was a victim and she was lonely, and somehow it's the sad woman card. So, but he can't do any of this. And what he tries to do to try to get out of court and, try to go about the case here is quite interesting. And then he realizes how awful the law can be with people who take advantage of different things and what's really right and wrong. As well, and the importance of being a good father and being there, and so yeah,
got like deep there, like
deep,
like wow, I was not expecting that road.
But I love like some of the. I think one of my favorite quotes from this is he is trying to a simple lie, and it's the pen that he holds in his hand is red. It's actually blue, and he's trying to say that it is red, and he cannot say it. And his face is like trying to explode, trying to say that it is red. And
The pen that I hold in my hand is royal blue.
And then it cuts after you've seen him for a while, and he's like trying to write it, and he's like trying to hold his hand.
I'll break it off.
And he's like having this whole like battle with himself, and he thinks he's writing red, but he's writing blue. And then you find his secretary finds him, and he's written the word blue everywhere all over his desk, and he writes it on his forehead, and he just screams that the goddamn pen is blue. And I love that scene. It's just so ridiculous and over the top. So my favorite reaction this time around with Kiddo, he was hysterical over many things. A lot of the sex stuff luckily kind of went over his head a little bit. Some of it was a smidgen awkward. But a lot of it at least wasn't really any sort of major issue. But what I enjoyed was when Jim Carrey was having these rampages and the craziness and the silliness, he was laughing because he sounded, this is just like Dad.
That's not true.
It is 100% true, and it's amazing. So yeah. So when there was some of the play with him and his son in the movie, and just the joking aspect of things, you could just see him smiling ear to ear though, because I think it reminded him of his childhood in all the positive aspects, right?
Because I lied to him all the time.
No, I know. No, it's because as I say,
Santa Claus,
shut your face,
Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy.
Because he was such a good dad when he was actually present. He never actually, was neglectful when he was there, right? And he cared about him, and he was silly and fun, and so it was all positive things. But I think it was just because this is just portraying him so well in that light. So. So
no, it's a classic. I enjoy it. There's a few things that was kind of questionable with some of the humor, where you realize like the outdated racial stereotypes, or like the making the kind of aboriginal voice of Jim Carrey there, he must become a man, right?
Oh yeah,
things like that. Like you see, you're like, right, and then even just like the sex aspect too, like how in a lot of things, it was portrayed so like positively that he was getting like sexually harassed by his boss.
Yeah, she was horrible, right? It was not okay,
and he was just like, all right, cool, but I still enjoy it. It's still a funny movie. Like, there's
but at the same time, I also appreciate it because I think that scenario is also underaddressed in the world too.
Oh yeah,
so
I don't doubt.
But
then it's fun to see him because it was kind of like he was somewhat unfiltered Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
just being able to be super, batshit crazy.
This was the first time that I got very frustrated at the end when he is chasing after the airplane, and I realized that the staircase should not be able to outrun the airplane that is trying to take off. I don't know why I never caught on to how bad that was until now.
Because it's movie magic.
It's super movie magic, and like it makes zero. And
he also spins like a starfish through the air.
That is true. And I thought I'm looking at this, all I can think of, and I've thought this for years now, but all I could think of was, damn, he would be I think he'd be shot if he ever did something like that nowadays, right? But
he wouldn't even have gotten that far.
Like, no, he would never have gotten that far.
Through the X-ray.
He there wouldn't have been a nice takedown. The guy would have been full on shot if he had tried to break out into the tarmac. Yeah. Like, oh my God. So
way to reel that one up, kid.
Yeah. That would have just been a quick ending.
How it
to the
should
movie.
Have ended.
Right.
In the film Liar Liar, the truth is he would never have made it past the security, and he most likely would have been shot.
So everything would have just been sad ending, and he would have died.
They would have moved to Boston and had a new family. Wow.
But yeah, no, I still love it. So yeah. I mean, I know there's a few things that are definitely off with it, but I love the concept of it, and I love his humor in it, and there's so many good things to quote.
Yeah. I'm kicking my own ass.
Do you mind?
You know what's funny is like the idea of like, because like sex is now becoming more prevalent in kiddos' life.
Yeah.
Like they're learning more about, you know, all that kind of stuff and the systems and all those things like that. And, you know, like finding those movies where it's like, okay, well, it's getting a little close to it, but it's okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the other day, Thor was rubbing on me and kiddo's like, I wonder if he's trying to have the sex with you. And I was like, no. This is just how cats show affection. Like, there's no. Ew. Why would you think that?
Oh, we told him he's getting close to being an awkward teenage boy. He's just so mortified.
Yeah. But I don't want to be awkward. Yeah. And I was like, so you got to be an awesome teenage boy and like, you know,
jump through a ring of fire, or play chicken with the smart car in a suitable suit. Those are what we told him. Those were his options. If he didn't want to be the awkward teenage boy, he had those options.
I thought that was valid options. You know, you want to step up and do some viral videos.
I know, right? So, but yeah, that was our.
So that was the family time we had. We ended up cracking open another comedy that was very not family friendly.
Yes, it's been sitting on our Netflix list for a little while.
Kiddo did see the trailer for this because Netflix autoplays, and he had said, "I want to watch this." And I was like, "No! You cannot watch this." It was Eric Andre's Bad Trip. Mm-hmm. So it's on the lines of a prank movie. Like it's like
a Borat / Jackass movie.
Yeah, where it's just like it was filmed in secret, kind of where they didn't know people were on camera and they were, you know, trying to create real reactions.
Real reactions and pranks and use everyone as extras, right? So
the story is this guy sees his high school crush and she tells him that she's putting on a art show in New York.
They're in Florida.
Yeah, they're in Florida. And he's like, dude, we have to go. Like, I have to live my life. We're going to go there and I'm going to confess my love to her and then my life's going to be better. So it's a road trip movie, and the guy takes his sister's car, and she's in prison.
She's batshit crazy.
And she's crazy.
It's Tiffany Haddish plays the sister.
And so it's them on the road trip and her chasing them.
She broken out of prison.
Breaks out of prison, yeah. So that's the premise of the movie. Yeah. And it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard in some scenes.
So much ridiculous.
It's that ridiculous. It's like the opening scene where you know the vacuum sucks his clothes off and he's like detailing this dude's car.
And the guy's like so genuinely concerned for him and wants him so badly to still hook up and you know, because that was when he first sees the girl.
Yeah.
And then it had been a year later, and then when he decides, he finally talks to her. And but he just gets, all of a sudden his outfit gets sucked off in the vacuum. And
but like there's
you know what I love? They go into this bar that is just a full-on cowboy bar, and they walk in, they're like, dude, we are the only black people in here. Like, this is making me uncomfortable. And I love that it wasn't what you were expecting to be the problem.
I was expecting
to see racism.
Yeah.
And you didn't see that.
No.
And it was really nice to see that everyone was very welcoming and very, what was in the movie, I'm going to be honest. You never know what there was, right? But everyone was really welcoming, and they were
partying with them.
Yeah, they were partying, and it was only became a problem when he got so wasted that he was just being a drunk ass.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have mattered that, you know, he was crossing the line because he was so drunk.
Yeah, but there still was no actual like,
and there was no racism though. And I was pleasantly surprised with that to see that was, then you could have more of the story without those types of things there, right? It ended gross beyond gross, but but it was hilarious.
My favorite scene is when they go to the zoo.
Yeah.
And he goes into the gorilla pen.
And the gorilla
and him have a moment. I'm going to save it.
2 moments, actually?
I'm going to save it. I'm going to let you watch it because it wasn't where I was expecting it to go.
No. And you have to see it in its full glory.
Yeah, you got to enjoy this. So Bad Trip, Eric Andre and a gorilla.
Yeah.
Like that was hilarious scene in that.
Mike quoted this morning in front of Kiddo, went to go quote it and then I like started laughing because I knew what he was going to say. And Kiddo looked and he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, dude, don't even ask. I cannot tell you. So, but yeah, so it's like a 4 or 5 day trip to New York. I love the way that it ends with the romance aspect of it. It's much more real life feeling, and deserved, honestly, for it. But it's definitely turns into what is a romance to more of a friendship. Soulmates bonding, of that bonding and life changing.
Oh, they take a whole bunch of drugs because they think it's mints.
Oh my god, they find a whole baggie
and they go through a grocery store.
That was amazing.
High as can be, and then they wake up with a Chinese finger trap on their junk.
Yep,
on their dangler and
wrinkle pouch. It was just on the dangler.
Yeah, it was on the wrinkle pouch.
I know.
But.
And
so that that was
and just
hilarious.
that. I mean, just imagine that,
right?
But yeah, that whole scene in the grocery store is hilarious because it was so well cut.
It was also
of course it was edited right
to be trippy, as well.
I wonder if they had gone on there, done their stunt, and then got the grocery store then to be able to run around and do their stuff, because they would have had to have all the camera crew without being hidden. Yeah. Right?
Well, it says they vet a lot of these things, right?
Yeah, they go and then when they accidentally have problems, then there's security teams not in place for things. Yeah, because there was one that they showed up in.
Yeah, one that's a real reaction. Everything's a real reaction, but this was like an extra real reaction that they went to they were led to the wrong place
with the finger trap on their dicks. Yeah.
And the security team was not in place to help them out, so they were actually in danger. Yeah. So that was interesting to see. Yeah. Like the one guy almost quit the movie over this scene. Yeah.
But yeah, it was, and then it was great because at the end they show through the credits they show all the
kind of like the outtakes
behind the scene. Yeah, it would be like bloopers, but it's the idea of letting all the people know that this was a movie and that they're in on this, and so you can see the reactions and people and. Like I love one of them that in the movie the one character's in danger and she's trying to hurt him, and the other one, some of them just run, right, and she's just laughing at him like, you would have just let me and kill this guy, like you were just gonna walk away, and like then there's these people that are just like trying everything possible to help, and it's interesting to see the people that stay and the people who just are like, I'm out of here, like I'm not.
Well, it was interesting because like they had done that with that one guy. They had done the photos with him. He didn't know they were doing a movie then. Right. And so it wasn't until Haddish's character interacted with them that then he knew that it was a movie. Right. So this would have been like
that's a lot. Like I'm thoroughly impressed with the conviction of these style of movies, like especially like even with Borat and those types of things.
Well, the improv that goes into them to be able to stay within character,
yeah, and like how many times they would have to do something in order to fit the story that they want to have. Yeah, and
they showed that with the
I'm thoroughly scene, impressed. Right? Yes,
so.
I'm thoroughly impressed with the style of movie and what it takes to be able to actually get it finalized and produced, because you have to talk to all these people and have them be okay with all of this. You randomly see the people who were blurred out that didn't get the approval for things. But overall, so many people are okay with this. Yeah. And it was hilarious. It was definitely a needed adult laugh movie.
Yeah, so. No, it was funny. Like, I definitely recommend it if you want to grab a beer and just like laugh
or something else and just have fun.
Just enjoy it because it's worth it. It totally is. So, Bad Trip on Netflix. It's a Netflix original with Eric Andre. It just came out this last year. It's been out for a couple months, I think. So, totally worth it. Yeah. And there you have it. This is the end. The cup is empty. Beer can's
empty. Time to go home.
We won't sing closing time. But so there it is. Another week in your ears. Yeah. Tasty licks. Go find some fun things to watch. Let us know if you watch anything that we checked out, what you think. If you have your own RADnesia on, like, say, like Liar Liar, or your thoughts on it, or any Jim Carrey movie for that matter. But yeah. So next week, it's a new bag of who knows what.
Of we don't know.
So
whatever the world throws at us.
So no, we need to do the Jurassic World thing, I think.
Yeah.
Or the Mighty Ducks thing or something like that. Like we need to look at that stuff again. We need to get focused.
Yeah.
So
focus serious time.
Right?
Couple Rat serious.
No, why are we serious? Why are we
just joking.
Like hardcore.
Okay.
How about we could do a whole hockey episode?
Oh snap!
Because the playoffs are almost over.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
But there we go. So you know what, everyone? Stay rad.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening. Want more rad content? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And don't forget to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review.
And remember, be excellent to each other and party on, dudes!